Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. First, I would like to thank SK sir for taking out time of his busy schedule and attending the session. I would thank you each and every one of you for being present here, and I hope you enjoy today's session. So, as you can see on the slide, today's topic would be 3D object detection for autonomous driving. Okay, so I have been planning this project for quite a long time, and I would walk you through the process of what is 3D object detection and how it is being done. So as you can see from the screen, there are few cars aligned on the right side of the road and a car on the left pathway. So and also there are few green and red boxes, bounding boxes around this car. So what is basically being done in here is objects like the car are being detected. So that is object detection part in our project. But let's break into the project part by part and understand what is actually happening. Um, Most of you have heard about the car company Tesla, right? They are making autonomous self-driven cars. So when you heard the term self-driven car, what comes at your mind at the first? At the first, it is the thought that the car will drive automatically. They don't need any driver. They will have some kind of a machine. Suppose they will drive the wheel automatically and take you to the destination. This is what comes to our mind, right? So yeah, this is basically what is autonomous driving, and the the concept sounds very interesting that we don't need any humans and it can drive us automatically. We have seen a lot of movies on that cars are being driven automatically, and we feel excited about the concept. We think that if we can drive such a car, if we can possess such a car, then it's a really great thing to have. So I would say that such things are possible. Tesla is doing that. They are making autonomous car. But the problem is they they have to reach a particular level of efficiency for that. Say suppose you have to achieve an efficiency of say 90%. They have to see if they can efficiently detect all the obstacles in front of them, and they can safely drive a person from their starting position to the destination. That is the main objective, that to safely take a person from their starting location to the destination. And during that process there are a lot of obstacles. Like in this picture there are obstacles like car. If you are driving by a car and another car comes in front of you, then it's an obstacle. Then there are obstacles like pedestrians. So suppose you are driving and suddenly a pedestrian comes in front of you, then it's an obstacle. Your system has to understand that, right? Now, let's talk about the human brain, right? Say, suppose you got up one day and you start walking. So, what's the first thing that your brain processes? Your first thing that brain processes that there is an obstacle in front of you. Say, suppose the door of your room. You have to open that door, then you can walk further. Then suppose you get out of your house and start walking to the nearby shop. Say now while walking, an obstacle like a lamppost comes in front of you. Your brain knows that it is an obstacle. I have to avoid that, and you walk past the lamppost. Similar thing is happening in case of this machine, the machine which will detect these objects. They will detect this object like a human eye. They will detect that there is an obstacle. We have to avoid that obstacle and move forward in our journey. So this is mainly the project. Now the project sounds very interesting, like that the car is driving on its own. It's taking no human input. It is working on its own. That's a very fascinating and exciting concept. But there is a problem. Say suppose one, like I was talking about the human brain thing. Say suppose one morning you wake up, you found out that your eyesight has weakened somehow your eyesight has weakened, and you start walking. So what's the first problem? The first problem is that you would collide against an obstacle, because your brain can't process that it's a door, it's an obstacle. You have to avoid that. Similar things happen in case of our algorithm, our this 3D object detection algorithm. There are problems like occlusion problem. There are problems of, by occlusion I mean, say suppose two or three cars are very close to each other, then our algorithm can't detect this. So that's the problem. So basically our project would focus on this, right? So I would discuss about these problems and other things related to this project later. First, the first question that might be coming into your mind is how we will detect this. How we will capture these images, right? First, we have to capture these images. Like on the screen, there are few images of car. First, we have to capture those images. Then only we can predict. Not predict. Then after we can do the further thing we have to do, like the machine learning concept we have to apply later. The first and prior concept is we have to detect the cards and take the input image. So for that, the different approaches for detection are LiDAR, monocular, and stereo. So what's LiDAR? LiDAR is like your sonar. In case of sonar, you are detecting undersea objects, right? Similarly, in case of LiDAR, what you are doing is you are fitting a radar in at the back or at the front of your car, and using that radar, you are able to detect if there are nearby cars around you, like that detection system that give alert if you are crossing some if you are violating some rules. Like that kind of alert are being given in this case. In the case of LiDAR, it's a radar based system. Okay, and the efficiency of this LiDAR based approach is very good. Now I would want to pause a little bit, and I would ask the audience if they can tell me that why this LiDAR approach is not a right approach to uh, progress with. Why they are not considering this LiDAR much. Can anyone unmute and tell? Just a wild guess. Actually, the thing is perfect because radar. There is nothing better than radar. The army itself, the army personnel are using radar, so there can be no doubt that radar is not perfect. But the problem with radar is very costly, very expensive. So big companies like Tesla and all are considering other alternatives for that, right? They can't just they can make prototypes with lidar, okay, but if they want to fit a object detection type machine in every each and every car, like suppose they want to implement this algorithm in India. In the case of India, what's the problem? So such a large population in India. If they are fitting radar in each and every car, then the company would be in ruins because radar is expensive. So yeah, that's expensive. That's the main reason why LiDAR is being not used. Okay. So what's the better approach of capturing this picture and taking the input data, processing the input data? Next approach can be monocular. By monocular, I mean is that there will be a camera, just a single camera fixed on your car, and it will take the images of nearby cars, nearby objects. It's like the human eye. You can say it's just like the human eye. It will take the pictures of the objects and it will report. Now I want someone to speak up that why I said just like the human eye. Do anybody have the slightest idea why I said, like if they are doing some?
because human eye is capable of detecting the like height and depth of the uh, like whatever we
Exactly,
are saying,
exactly.
but the
Thank you,
camera
thank you.
actually.
Exactly. And this effect is called stereopsis. By stereopsis, we mean is human eyes can detect depth. We are lucky that God gave us this eye, this perfect alignment, with the help of which we can detect depth in the images. And because of that, the monocular is different from our human eyes. Monocular has just a single camera. It can just capture something 2D. Not 2D, it can't perceive depth to that much efficiency. But our human eyes can perceive depth very efficiently. And for that, monocular is not a very good approach. And that takes us to the next part, the stereo. Our project was stereo detection of 3D objects during autonomous driving. So now we got our first term of our project, the stereo term. And now by stereo I mean is on the car we are fitting 3 to 4 cameras at various angles. say suppose one is at the back, one is at the top, one is say suppose at the left side of the car, like that. There are a lot of cameras, and by that what they are trying to do is they are trying to replicate the human brain. One thing you will see in machine learning is that everything is very similar to the human brain. They are trying to replicate the human brain. At first scientists tried to find out what's inside the human brain. Now they are trying how to replicate the human brain, and that's how they are progressing in this world. And the next part of the project, like if ever heard of the term convolutional neural networks, that neural part is derived from the human brain only, because this convolutional neural network, I would tell about this later, but for now I would say that this convolutional neural network is something like our human brain is doing. Like it is understanding some features. Say suppose someone is standing in front of you. You can say that someone is standing in front of you. So this CNN, this convolutional neural network, they have the ability to detect special features from an image and tell that these features are representing. If this a person, if this is car, like that. Okay. So till now, any doubts? I want to pause and ask if the project is clear, because this project is very interesting. I think personally think this project is very interesting. I want to hear from your side.
It was clear so far.
Yeah, thank you. Like you can speak like what's like in this ML club, what we are trying to do is, like previously also I told that it's not possible to teach each and every concept, because the problem is, say suppose on first day you are coming, on the second day you are not coming, or someone
Not this type of session, then you may post it on in your that is in your YouTube channel. Then from there, the students who are not able, maybe for some reason not able to attend this session, they can get this lecture or this session or this type of seminar from the YouTube channel.
Yes, sir. We are recording the sessions, but the problem is that there is some kind of gap. I don't know. There is some kind of gap. Like I mentioned, I asked them to watch all the video. They are sincerely following, but I think there
Hmm.
is some gap. They are not understanding. On my personal level, I feel there is some gap, and it's not the best approach. That's why I want to know from them, like how would they like us to approach the problem.
Okay. Um, okay, that is I am trying to get
Yes,
at this.
yes,
That is a good idea. So that
yes, sir.
from there, this type of session can be recorded.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You that means you continue your session.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Oh, so I
Hello.
am. Hmm. Yeah, Neeraj, say.
Regarding learning machine learning, I do have an idea. Like in the web development chapter, I mean the development chapter,
Yeah.
they they organize the portfolio making competition. Through that, many students, many people learned CSS, HTML, JavaScript to make the portfolio. So like that, if in machine learning chapter also there is organized some kind of contest, people will try to learn the concept and make models, something like that. It will
Yeah.
boost the learning process.
Yeah, basically today's session is on that only. Like the topic I am speaking on, this topic is a bit tough. On your level, you can't do it. But based on this topic, you can do a lot of things. Like mentioned, object detection in 3D, right? So in 3D, forget the 3D part, forget the autonomous driving part. You just focus on the object detection part. Like there are a lot of projects on object detection. Like if you are talking about computer vision, there are a lot of projects on object detection, image segmentation, like that, like simple projects using OpenCV. Like you will occasionally find people are making such projects and posting it on LinkedIn. So they are simple, they are not tough. Okay, if they can do it, you guys can also do it. That's not a big deal. What you have to know is you have to follow a step by step process. Like the in the first session I taught linear regression, then logistic regression, and now I was supposed to teach neural networks, right? But the problem is I would try to teach neural networks in the next sessions. But the thing is you have to attend all the sessions. If you can promise me that you will attend all the sessions and follow the sessions, then I can try. because neural network is a really complex topic. Even me, after knowing, like I've been in this field for a long time, I also can't tell that I know everything. So it's a difficult area and enough. So you have to sincerely follow. Like in the web development part, we were saying they are organizing portfolio projects. At present, it's difficult to organize such things. But what we can do is, I asked you to do the Kaggle. Do you follow the Kaggle project? Are you doing the Kaggle project?
No, not yet.
Yes.
Yeah, say Shubham is doing. So I would suggest first you try with the Kaggle one, because at present, if I give you some project like do this project, it would be tough for you, right? So in that way, I don't think it should be. You should proceed. What you should do is you should first learn, because machine learning is a theoretical topic. It's not web development that you will learn on the way. Okay, first you have to know the theory first. Okay, first you have to know a lot of theory, a lot of maths, then only you can get to the project. And after doing little few projects, then again you can come back to the theory. But first you have to know a few theory. And after doing the theory part, you have various courses. I have shared the resources with you, I guess. So after completing that part, you please follow Kaggle, right? There are very simple projects on Kaggle, like stock prediction, Titanic survival, like that. A lot of projects are there. In case of coding, like in competitive programming, you are following code forces. Like in similar way, you have to do in this case also. If you are really interested, you have to take up projects on Kaggle, or you can make self-made projects. Like I would talk about in my case, what I did was I was not so much fascinated by Kaggle, but what I was doing is I was making projects on my own. Okay, I was interested in the NLP part, natural language processing. So I made a lot few projects on that only. But I was learning and then making projects. So I think that a similar approach would be better for you. But first, understand the theory part properly, the mathematics part, because it would be difficult. Okay, I am showing one thing on my on my presentation. You would understand why I am focusing on the mathematics part so much. You will understand very soon. Yeah. So in our project, the first and foremost barrier is convolutional neural networks, right? So how to approach projects? Like you are saying that you want to make projects. So the best approach to do a project is first you know what are the tools you need in your arsenal. Then only you can progress. Like the first tool was stereo part. I told you that for stereo part you have to understand that why human eyes and why the monocular camera is failing and why the lidar is failing. Then only we can reach up to stereo. In same way, in projects like this, you have to first understand what are important. Like in case of convolutional neural network, you have to first learn convolutional neural networks, what is the concept, and make a few basic projects. There are a lot of basic projects available on the net. I can share you the resources. Right now, I don't have the resources with me. By tonight, I can share all the resources of the simple project. You are asking to make simple projects. I can share the link to the simple ones. Okay. Next is the object detection, like that. Then followed by simple. You have to make simple project using OpenCV. I found that in my journey in machine learning, I was learning a lot of theory, and at that point of time, I had no prior experience to using frameworks like PyTorch and TensorFlow. You must have heard names like that. So I had no prior experience to that. I just completed a course, and I just wanted to do hands-on project. So what I did was opened OpenCV and I searched for a few basic projects. So they have a very nice documentation how to do projects using OpenCV. They have a very nice documentation. You can read the documentation in 1 or 2 or maybe 3 days and make some simple projects like OCR document reader or maybe an object detector. Very simple models you can make, and in that process you will learn. And in this way, if you continue after a month or maybe after 2 months, okay, this project might be a simple one for you. Like standing at this point, I know it's very difficult. Like you are wondering why I am talking about such a big project which is completely going above your head, because you don't know convolutional networks, you don't know object detection. But it's okay. Right now you won't get it, but you should know what you should learn to finally do that project. Like I was thinking of doing this project, or I was thinking of doing this project when I was in second year. At the beginning of the second year, I started thinking that what in which domain I should focus. I was interested in natural language processing and computer vision. So in that way, I gathered knowledge, right? In the previous session, someone was asking about reinforcement learning. To be honest, I don't know about reinforcement learning because I was not interested in reinforcement learning. I was just interested in computer vision and NLP part. So I am basically focusing on this part only. So you should also know that, like, what should you read, what should you uh, go on with. Like, if you are reading just a linear regression and logistic regression for 2 to 3 months, then that's no point, because seriously speaking, those concepts are not used so much. They are used, but these projects are real world projects, and for doing this kind of project, you should know at least neural network. You should at least know neural network. So you should speed up. If you are thinking that you would progress, you want to make progress in this field, you should speed up your process. And apart from the machine learning part, the one part which I have highlighted is the geometry part. You must know geometry, okay? Because without geometry, it's difficult. I am showing you an image. Is the screen visible? See, I have there is a box of the car, right? Two boxes, one on the left, one on the right, one in green and red. So you can see a lot of variables are there, a lot of things written like 3D, 2D projection, 3D bounding box, and a lot of formulas are written down here, right? So if you are thinking that you want to uh, move on and make real world projects, so you must know a few things like geometry, maths. Like, people were asking in previous sessions as well, like, is maths important, statistics is important. So I thought about showing you this particular slide where I am focusing that if you don't know geometry, or you are thinking that you would learn that later, then it's a big problem. First you should learn the maths and statistics part first, and then you should progress, because later it becomes tough. Actually, see, if you are not clear, if you think that you still have doubts, what you can do is you can ask me personally, like, what kind of how to approach, like, what to study after that, what to do after that. You can do that. Like, if you are, suppose you are studying logistic regression, what you should study next, what resources are there. Okay, you can ping me and ask me. It's no problem. Okay, just clear your doubts, then it would be better. Right. Now you can ask me questions now also. I want to know how exciting is the project to you. Uh, that's the main agenda today. I just wanted to show the project part. Is the project important, exciting? You think you can work in it?
Yeah, I think it is quite interesting. It would make us learn a lot of things. I think
Yeah.
OpenCV, neural networks, mathematics, even. So yeah,
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, if you are considering to make a big project or do something big, you have to focus on a lot of things, right?
This
So
like,
yeah.
this project seems interesting, but I have a question. Like, where are we going to collect like the data from? Like the training part. Like,
Uh, for, for
is
the
it
training,
from? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, for the training part, we have lot of public data sets like the Kitty data set. Okay, it's a well-known data set and a standard data set. In machine learning, you take a standard data set, right? And you perform your algorithm on that data set. Say, suppose on this Kitty data set that I mentioned, the researchers are doing research on this data set. Now they achieved the efficiency. Okay, they achieved the efficiency. So this model is, say, suppose state of art architecture. This model has achieved. Then that becomes, for the timing they are using that architecture. Now let's suppose the following year someone comes up with a better architecture. They have to test this algorithm on the data set the previous model was trained on. and based on that they have to show that how their algorithm is better than the previous one, and that's what we are trying to do. Like I am focusing on this project because I want to make this project better, and I want that you guys also come along and help me. You can one second. Yeah. So yeah. So I would share a doc later. By tonight, I would share a doc where I would state properly that what's the process. How can you make, like, starting right from now? How can you make progress and come to the level such that you can make contribution to projects like this, right? But this, now you should focus more on learning procedure. You should learn, like the topics I mentioned. I am explaining in this way to show you that for doing this project in particular, you need to know OpenCV, you need to know object detection, CNN, geometry, like that concepts you need to know. So if you know what you have to learn, then the process becomes easier. But I would later share a doc with you, with a detailed doc where I would mention step by step, like what you have to know, what you must follow. Then it would be easier, I guess. Right.
This project, the
I-
main aim is to create a collision avoidance system.
Exactly. Not collision avoidance. Not collision avoidance to be precise. It's like the project is focusing on, say, suppose a pedestrian comes in front of you suddenly, right? Or a vehicle comes in front of you. That's the main agenda. That collision. You are right. That collision detection is right. That if an obstacle comes in front of you, it's giving you alert that there is a obstacle. That's the main focus. But there are architecture which is already doing this, but the main part is improving that architecture, improving on above that, trying to come up with better ideas. Like, you are 40 to 45 people in this meet. If each and every one of you come up with an idea, say suppose you say, bhaiya, we can do this, we can do that, like that. If each and every one of you suggests me some idea, then we can make better progress. We can come up with an architecture which is better than the previous architecture. So that's the main focus, not just object detection, not just collision avoidance, but to come up with better ways to solve our problem.
Okay,
Okay,
actually,
understood.
I asked about the data set because recently I read a blog of a person, like his project was to uh, like autonomous driving kind of thing. So what he did was, like, he created his own data set. Like, he fixed a camera on his car, and like, he used to capture everything wherever he used to go. So in that way, like, he created his own data set for trading, and I think that was really pretty interesting because he didn't use the data set from anywhere else. Like, he created everything. So
Yeah. So
like,
what? So why they are doing this is,
is
say
it
suppose.
possible for us, like, I mean,
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible for you to make data set, right? Why they're doing this is because, say suppose they have this kitty data set. What's the problem with this kitty data set is it's mainly based on the US data, right? So say suppose I am presently I am in India, residing in India, and I want to make this project, right? So the main problem I would face is that their data won't match with our data, because the problem with our roads is there are certain road traffic rules that are different from there. Like, their cars are, say suppose cars are aligned left aligned, however is right aligned, something like that. There are certain rules.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
So
i- like the person was India based, so like his reason was too the same for doing that. Like,
yeah.
Indian roads are pretty difficult and all. So
Yeah. So that is what researchers are trying to do. Say suppose in one country they achieved the efficiency with a certain algorithm and a particular data set. Now their agenda is to try to shift their focus to a particular country. Say suppose in Africa. Say suppose in India. Why they are focusing on countries like this? Because in our country, like in India, there are not I would say, not to criticize, but there are not strict, concrete rules on the road traffic. Like someone say, suppose they want to cross the road, he or she is showing their hand and crossing the road. But I don't think that happens quite often in the US or UK like that. So that's the problem in our country. So for that, we need a data set. In our country, we need a data set for our purpose. We can't work with their data set, because if we use their data set, then every day a collision will happen. Every day people will die with our model. So we have to figure out
And
some.
like you mentioned about the 90% accuracy, isn't like 90% efficiency too less for something like autonomous driving? Like
Definitely,
10% error is like way
definitely
too high.
in projects where life is involved, in human life is involved, if you have a percentage error of even 1%, your model is not performing good, because out of 10 people, if one person is dying, then your model is not good. You have to try reaching out of perfection when no one dies, right? But unfortunately, that level of efficiency is not possible yet, but research has been going on in this field. That's why this project is so interesting and exciting and a real world one, right?
Yeah.
And I am going to share resources, right? And I am going to try to help as much as I can, right? Now say, suppose like you asked me that what is this data set concept, why they are making their own data set. If you have any doubt, okay, if you have any doubt of why they are using this data set, why they are making use of that data set, you just ask me that why they are doing this. I would try to help you out, because I want each and every one of you to work on this field, right? If each and every one. And I believe each and every one of you can make their contribution in this field, right? It's not a big problem. You just have to think like, what's the problem? Like I said, people are crossing road showing their hand. If you can come up with the idea, okay, people are doing this, so I have to make a new data set for my country. If you can think like that, then it's okay. You're you are on the right track. What you need more is the ML concept, the conceptual part, the mathematical part, right? For that, I am here to help you. ML Club is here to help you. Each and every one of us are here to help you and guide you in this process. But you have to ask, ask us, right? Like in the Telegram group or the Discord group, I don't find people excited about this. Only few people ping and few people ask this and that. I want each and every one of you to ask their doubts right there, because I am sure each and every one of you, if you are serious enough, you will have doubt, because this is a difficult concept and it's not possible that you are getting everything. You should ask, and ML Club is here to help you. So attend the session, ask your doubts. If it's not clear yet, okay, then I can organize more sessions. It's ML Club is for you to learn, right? Previous to this year, like in 2020, there was no ML Club. So this is the first year of ML Club, and I'm trying to help as much people as possible. So please reach out. We are here to help you. Please help. Just please ask for help.
Yeah, as you said, like mathematics part is important and it would create problems after a long time, after a certain amount of time. So
Yeah.
should we focus on more on statistics and other mathematical part, or we should start with some libraries like pandas or pytorch
Yeah,
or something?
you should learn, because let me share my
Which one first? I
let
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
let me share my personal experience. While I was doing machine learning, okay, I have worked on the TensorFlow framework. Okay, now the problem is, now that I am working on the real world problems. So in the real world research areas, the main problem is the research work is mainly going on in Python. The majority of the codes are in Python. So I have to learn PyTorch now. I am learning PyTorch right now, right? So it's not like that, like you learn this first, then you learn that. It's not like that. While in the process, you learn each and every concept. Like you can learn PyTorch now, you can learn PyTorch later, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, you have to learn few concepts like the statistics part, right? That you have to learn. Like say suppose in most of the courses they ignore the mathematics part. In Andrew Ng's ML course, that's the best course I think, according to me. In that course, he focuses on the mathematics part, and he often says that if you are not understanding the mathematics part, then it's okay, you will get it later. But but you should get the mathematics part clear right there, right? Because say suppose after 2 to 3 months you are facing some problem, then you have to track back, okay, I was learning then this concept and this step, this mathematical part I didn't understand at that point of time. Say suppose you don't understand gradient descent at that point of time, now you are working on say suppose loss function, say you are using gradient descent, now you are not clear like how this thing is working. So it will be a big problem for you. So learn each and everything in the process in the right way, the way it should be learned, right? Yeah.
In Angie's course, in neural networks, matrix representation wasn't very clear when I was studying.
Yeah, yeah, I also found that the matrix part was not very clear. For that, what you can do is like what I did was I just searched on YouTube some random videos, like just explain the matrix part of the convolutional network, and I got it, and I clear with the concept. You also should do something like that. You should search for other videos. You should not depend like I know Andrew Angel's course is the best, but you have to fall back on some other videos as well if you want to know each and every concept clearly, because this concept is important. This like the matrix part. Now you would say that what is the need for matrix part? I can just learn OpenCV and make a few simple projects. I know ML. You can say that, but when you are trying to make some really good stuff, then there will be problem. Then you can't handle the mathematics part. Then you will be confused how matrix multiplication is being done. What is this rule n into m? Then the other dimension should be m into k. You would get confused right there. So you have to first clear the mathematical part, then you should progress. Don't just keep the mathematics part. Continue with the go with the flow, I would say. Learn everything. That's it. More doubts, more doubts. I know there are more doubts.
Should we learn the mathematics part first, statistics and linear algebra, or let's jump into the field?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, because say suppose like each and everybody of you have given joint and come here, so I have assumed that each and every one of you have a strong mathematical foundation. So I am not saying that you to learn algebra and all that. But if you think that your algebra is weak, it can be that your algebra is weak, your certain concepts are not that much clear. You should learn that concept first, because later you will face problem. Not in just ML, in your college courses as well, you will face problems. So you must first strengthen that.
Can you suggest some courses regarding that?
Is that Gaurav?
Yes, sir.
Don't make them afraid like that. There is a strong base of mathematics like that. This one is required. Yeah, these all are required. But the student, I want to say that don't be afraid that there is a strong mathematical background is required. It is like that. That means as and when required, you can learn. That means that for the takeaway means not that you have to be master in mathematics. Then and only you can start with ML. So you can go with these things in parallel. You can launch this email, or you can do some type of small project. From there, you can make your hand in practice. Then with that, we enter the mathematical, because that one that A has said, Gaurav has said, this is very that one is very important, because you need, as you have come into the field of engineering, into the stream of engineering, so obviously you should have, anyone in your, all of you should have at least some base of mathematics. Just you have to use that concept, and that means at the time will come, if for doing some any project, if you need to learn some type of mathematical concept, then you have to learn that one. Yeah, that's for doing it of mathematics, that type of concept or statistics. That one I go by response. This one is required, but don't be afraid of that. That means there is a strong base of mathematics required. If I am not master in mathematics, then I will not be able to this type of project. So don't be afraid. Okay, don't be afraid. You start start with this type of project and this type of ML project, you will find a lot of interesting things there. And as the time requires, when it will be that for doing this one I need to learn, you have to learn. Okay. So don't be afraid like that. That means strong mathematical ability for this, I will not be a suitable person for doing this type of ML project. No, not that. So for doing this type of ML project, you need mathematics, but not that you need to be a master of that. When it will be required, you will learn that. Okay.
Yes, sir. I didn't want to afraid them. I just wanted to say that some basic concepts are required, and then like sir said, you will learn in the process. There are a lot of
That's the Gaurav has shown that one type of that is a 3D object detection. So for the case of 3D, that is a 3D object detection. If you have two cameras, those are put in some angle, then from there you can easily get some idea about that object. That means that type of object. So from from one camera angle you are getting a view. From another camera angle you are getting a view. So from these two views and these two angles, from there easily you can create a boundary box, and from there you can get the concept of the 3D object. So let you have you have started a project for the 3D object detection. So for that case, when it will be that means that when it will need that this type of 3D object detection, I need to learn this mathematics. So you have to learn that one. Okay. So each and every time we are learning. Maybe from that throughout this 4 year journey, you will learn from here some programming languages, some C, C++, some type of 8085 microprocessor, then maybe some type of Java, C++, like this type of language you will learn. Beyond that, you are learning this type of that is some type of language like that is the Python. Maybe for doing some type of project, you need to learn about MATLAB. Okay, so as and when required, you have to learn. That is, all of us are doing these things. Then when you will be absorbed in some company, when you will do their, that means when you do their, that means there you will do different type of project. There also you have to learn, that means their platform. So we actually engineers, what we are doing is, we all are habituated, that means that will be in our DNA. That is to learn. As and when required, we will learn that one. We will be able to learn that one within some fixed time. Okay. So not that means this one will be tough. If I am not being able to learn this one, then I will not be able to do this. Okay. So that means just get it involved in your DNA that I have to learn it. That means when for doing this thing, I need this language or this type of concept, I will learn it. Okay. So if you do it, then I think that will not be a problem for any cases. You just keep it in your mind that throughout our life we are learning. From our birth to death, we are all learning. We are the human beings, we are learning. Okay. So this is also the same thing, that is the thing is the machine learning. So that is here, that is the machine is learning. So you will learn here, that is the supervised learning, unsupervised learning. So everything, that means that system is also learning. So if a system learns, then why will you not be able to learn? Okay. So don't be afraid. That means there is this type of mathematics, geometry, all these required. So for this reason, I think I will not be a suitable person for that. Don't be afraid of that. Okay. Okay, go on.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, just as sir said, it's a very interesting journey. You will learn in the process, and it's not difficult. You will learn. It's okay, easy. Okay, you just follow the concept. It's important. The important concept you study, and you will eventually get each and every concept. Don't just get afraid like it's difficult, it's hard. Nothing is like that. Each and every concept can be mastered, and you can do it. So, yeah. Don't. More doubts? Like, do you want more resources on this? Like, how to progress more resources, right?
Yes, that will be very helpful.
Yes.
How and when can we contribute to this project?
That totally depends on you. Like if you know the concept very well, like I would say, you can contribute now as well. If you think you can, then you come with me, you can help me, you can do some work, okay? But I think that you should know first. You should study more. You should make yourselves comfortable with the concepts, right? Then only you can do, right? Otherwise, it's not. There is no point in doing a difficult one. First, you make simple projects. You learn the concepts properly. I would share more resources from where you can learn more on deep learning. There are more deep learning courses by Andrew Ng. You can learn that, right? I would share all the resources. Last day I shared one resource, I guess. I would reshare that and more resources. You can learn from that. And the moment you think you are capable of contributing, you just ping me, right? Like I am ready to do the project. If you think I will not judge you. If you think you can do the project, if you are confident enough of all the concepts, then you are welcome.
Regarding the Andrew Ng courses, it's more kind of theoretical and mathematical part. So when I started learning after 1 or 2 weeks, it kind of seemed boring to me because I was not able to apply that in a project or anything like that. So is there any way to do both things parallelly? Like
If
learning
you
the yeah.
if you think that part is boring, then what you can do is there are, like I mentioned, OpenCV. Okay, there are a few simple projects on OpenCV. For that, you just need basic Python skills. If you know basic Python, then you can read their documentation and you can work on that, right? So
Okay.
it would be an interesting part on, like an interesting one, okay, for you. And then you can again come back to the mathematics part. You can do like, okay, this mathematics is boring, so I am doing that. Then you again come back to this. Like this, you can continue, I guess.
Okay. I just don't see direct implementation of the. I mean, after a certain point,
Yeah, you would.
the picture is not quite clear.
Yeah, like you are saying, like in case suppose you are learning gradient descent, and after few days you are thinking, why I am learning so much gradient descent, where to use it. For that,
Yeah.
what you can do is like in the Andrew Ng course itself, they have the projects. They in their project you have to write the code from scratch, right? In real world project there are nothing like that. You don't have to write the all the gradient descent code from scratch, but in Andrew Ng's course you have to write that from scratch. So I guess that's the best resource you should take up, because from that you would learn how to handle the mathematical parts.
And they are somewhat challenging as well.
Exactly, they are somewhat challenging as well. So you would learn from them as well. Like it's if you think boring, then you can do sidewise. You can do this project, but come back to this one because I think these are interesting. Like,
Actually, when I was watching, I was just watching and watching and watching. I was not doing anything. So it was like that.
yeah, don't do just watching and watching. That's like don't get inside this learning loop. You will keep learning and learning and learning and not applying. So don't do that. You learn little bit. Okay, then you make some simple project. It can be very simple, right? It can be very simple. It don't have to be very complex, like some huge kind of thing. It can be very simple, but like the Titanic survival one. You can learn the linear regression part. If you think the maths is boring, you come to the Kaggle, you do the project, then again go back to the mathematical part. Same goes for logistic regression, same goes for neural networks.
Mhm.
That's how you should do. If doubts are clear, then I guess we can end the session today. For today, we can end the session, right?